Hi everyone, I am back in action with more pregnancy videos because I just found out that I am pregnant with baby number 2, which is a complete shock to my husband and I. We were only planning on having one baby, and I wanted to do this video because it is absolutely possible to get pregnant without having a period after you finish breastfeeding or after you've had a baby. And it's actually a pretty common occurrence. So my husband and I were, as I mentioned, we're not planning on having another kid. We weren't taking that so seriously because I guess we both weren't that worried about it. It took us a very long time to get pregnant the first time. And previously we had used a withdrawal method for birth control. We've been together forever and never had an accident. So after we had our first baby, the withdrawal method is what we were using for birth control. And after I stopped breastfeeding, I had what I would consider spotting or maybe a very small period. But I had not started what I would consider a normal cycle. So weeks went by. I felt like I started experiencing some pregnancy symptoms, and so I had been testing. And then I one day took a test, and it is this test right here, and I got a positive. So I wanted to do this video because, like I said, it's definitely possible to get pregnant if you haven't had a period yet since you've had a baby. Basically, all that needs to happen is you have that first cycle, you ovulate, and if you know how a cycle works, which I'm sure you do, you ovulate, and then if the egg gets fertilized, you are pregnant. If it does not get fertilized, you get your period. So what had happened to me was the first ovulation cycle, I had gotten pregnant, so I never got a period and just got pregnant instead. And this is actually really common. So I've had 2 other friends that this has happened to, and I don't have a huge amount of friends that have gotten pregnant or had kids. So I feel like the numbers with me and them too are really high. And it's a very, like I said, very common occurrence. And I asked my doctor as well, and she said that it's not like statistically studied a tremendous amount, but she did say, you know, sometimes it is easier or a lot easier for someone to get pregnant that second time around because your body already knows what it's doing. So if this has happened to you, or if you haven't gone on birth control after you've stopped breastfeeding, or you haven't gotten your period after you've had your baby, I would highly recommend, I am so against like normal birth controls because they've always just made me crazy, or like really terrible acne or really heavy period, and I've tried so many of them. That's why I really didn't want to go that route. So my husband will be getting a vasectomy this time around. But what I'd highly recommend if you're in the same boat as me is just getting a ton of pregnancy tests and testing really often. The earlier you get a positive, if you're not expecting, the earlier you can start planning kind of what you may want to do in that situation. So that's what I would recommend, getting some inexpensive tests that are sensitive, and I'll link the ones I recommend and slide them across, and also link them in the comments below. But test often, be careful if you are set on not having any more kids and you don't want to go through an abortion process, definitely look into the vasectomy. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I get back to people as soon as I possibly can, and we will look forward to seeing you on the next one.